Hello. So I was thinking about the term woke. It seems like it's everywhere nowadays. Woke culture, woke politicians, supposedly, whatever the hell that means. And it seems to me, maybe my perspective is limited, but it seems to me that it's primarily a term meaning roughly self aware. You're aware of it. It seems like any minor thing about your own personality makes you woke. You're aware of your sexuality. You're aware of others. You're tolerant. I don't know why woke would mean tolerant, but today that's what it seems to me. It's not what it meant originally. Originally, it was meant to say, hey, I'm aware. I'm awake to the idea that just crossing paths with the wrong person that doesn't look like me can lead to jail, violence. Just it was originally meant to say, look, the rules of this society that you live in are not dealt with the same for you as they are for everybody else. That you don't have to do anything major, you don't have to do anything wrong, and the rules of the society you live in can crash down around your head just because somebody looked at you that a way, or because you looked at somebody away, or for no reason whatsoever, just being present. It's unfortunate that the term was necessary, but it still is necessary for certain human beings. And I'd like to point out that that sense of urgency, that understanding that the alertness the term is supposed to convey, you're aware that this system doesn't work the same for you as it does for everybody else. You're aware. You're awake to the idea. I think if you're gonna take this term and mainstream it, it has to be about more than self awareness. It has to be about more than tolerance. It has to be about more than understanding. It has to be that urgency that the system you are operating within does not work the same for you as it does for everybody else. I've talked about all these different movements that are out there right now that are trying for equality. Equality in lifestyle, equality in minorities of all kinds, equality of just something silly as skin color. Why that still needs to be a fight in this day and age, I do not know. And I've talked about how those movements are all part of one greater movement. They're all little pieces, little train cars in this movement that's happening right now. Understand that we can't go forward. I've talked a lot about creative versus entropic morality. We cannot go forward as billions of hungry carnivores who are praying, hoping, wishing, fighting, fucking, willing to screw over anybody or anything, willing to do whatever it takes to get to that next step of progress, that next step of success. We can't do that. We see the results. That awareness that, hey, I'm aware that this system is not working, that this system is entropic, that this system is immoral, it's wrong. That's what we need. We need that. If you want to talk about how woke you are, let me hear about how woke you are about that problem. The idea that we can just keep going along the way we have, opening up more and more pipelines, burning up more and more fossil fuels, continuing. I haven't done a video on sex yet, but the vast majority seem to be doing even that basic function of reproduction wrong. Maybe it's my isolated nature out here in the sticks of Wisconsin. Maybe I'm wrong, but it certainly does seem to be the case because even this new generation that seems to like this term woke, half of their actions are in direct contradiction to it. half of their actions or more are still rooted in that entropic morality. From the people they idolize, to the goals that they're trying to achieve, to just willful ignorance of what is right and what is wrong. We cannot have billions of humans running around willing to do anything they can to get to that next step in success or progress or power or money or fame. It's not sustainable. It's not even intelligent. It's not even different than what we've been doing for thousands of years. I'm an American. I live in the United States. We came running away from repression and then immediately repressed the people we found. It's the same thing we're doing today. Only today, we sit here and we repress anybody that we don't like, or we send our problems off on ships so that we don't have to deal with them here. Before, we brought problems on ships. Now we bring commerce on ships and send away our problems. What we're doing is no different. There was this thing called like white guilt. I think white guilt had something to do with slavery and with what we did to the indigenous people we found here. But you can't have, well, I guess maybe you can have white guilt. You can have guilt for what we've done in the past while continuing to do the exact same thing. You think the people that were slaughtering Native Americans didn't think that they were justified or even holy? Do you think the people that were transporting slaves didn't have religious support? Do you think the people that have done all the things we have done throughout our history didn't have good reasons to view themselves as moral? We haven't changed. I think we are changing now, finally. But this idea, people running around saying they're woke, is just watered down, and it ignores the main priority of the term, that alertness, that understanding, that immediacy, the need. I get it. Since I've started thinking this way, since I've started making these videos, I've had to take a hard look at the society I interact with because of where I live. And it is hard to reverse a lot of these things that are ultimately entropic. To live a virtuous life with these understandings in our society, it's very difficult. But at the same time, I'd like to think that our society is changing. I'd like to think within the next decade we could get rid of a lot of the old leaders that we don't, as a people, we don't believe in our leaders anymore. We don't believe in the structures that are available for us today. We don't believe in our society anymore. It's not working. But good news, we've collected a ton of data. A ton. If we wanted to say right now is the time to rebuild this system, to rework how the entire world functions, we can do that right now, today. We have the technology, we've got the data, but it's us, it's humans. Will we do that? Will we take what is essentially a very comfortable existence for some? The people with the power live much more comfortable existences than the people without the power, and that follows down the scale. It's easy to be willingly ignorant when you can also be comfortable. To make the changes we need to make is going to be very uncomfortable. And some people will claim that it's against their freedoms. And if by freedom you mean your available options to step on as much as you need to step on to get what you want, to get what you desire, what you deserve. I really don't like that term. I'd like to do a video on that term. The idea that you deserve anything just by virtue of being here is foolish. And it turns out entropic or immoral. Look at it. So we're over 10 minutes now. So the main point was this watered down version of the term woke should be upsetting. This everybody using the term, it's almost a universal term at this point, just to mean self-aware ish. Anyways, like, share, subscribe, comment. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.